What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Before we go to Alex Hill's interview, which he top 8 at Michigan State, here is his deck list that he used. It is another Yveltal Garbodor deck. Instead of this time, obviously it's close to Dylan Dreyer's, but instead of the 2 escape rope, you switched over to escape rope to 2 switch. He goes over why that's kind of a better card in his own opinion, and he switched a Baby Yveltal and a Colress to 2 Xerosic, which Xerosic is really good right now in this Toad format because Xerosic is choose a Pokemon tool or a special energy card attached to your opponent to a Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponent, and you can discard it. So that way you can discard like a head ring on one of your Pokemon, or maybe discard a DCE off of a Seismitoad. Besides that, the list is obviously solid. A lot of people have done great with this list, so I hope you enjoy the interview. Alrighty. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. We have another States question and answer video with...
Oh, I am Alex Hill.
And where are you from?
I'm from Michigan.
So, I'm assuming you played in Michigan this past weekend.
Yeah. Played in Michigan. Unfortunately, for like at least the 4th year in a row, somebody from Michigan didn't win Michigan States. And it was really upsetting.
Were you the only Michigan player to cut?
No, there were 2 of us. I was in top 8, and then Christopher Szymanski was in top 4.
Oh,
but
Michigan couldn't pull through?
Nah. Those Canadians again.
Did they win last year too?
No. I think Ohio won last year.
Michigan. What's happening?
Oh, years ago, I don't know.
It's okay. Missouri didn't win their states either, so that's okay. So, what did you play this weekend?
I played Yveltal Garb. I'm going to say Yveltal Garb, but it was really Toad Garb with some Yveltals in it.
Yeah.
Because that's how I played every matchup, other than sweeping late game against the Toad decks.
Yeah. So, how'd you do in Swiss?
I went 6-1-1. Started out 5-0-1, and then had 2 games and was like winning in, and then I played against Travis Nunlist. He was playing the Toad Crobat.
Yeah. And
I got just obliterated in about 15 minutes. And so I just kind of like sat there and I'm just like, I hope I win the next game.
You gotta win or you're out.
Yeah,
I hate that feeling.
It very quickly. Yeah, just 15 minutes went from, I can win 1 of 2 games, and then I make cut, and then it's like, gotta win the next game or else I whiff.
So was that your hardest matchup of the weekend?
I'm not sure. It's tough. Aaron Charbel was playing the same Toad Crobat deck, and I played him the round before.
Mm-hmm.
And I beat him 2 out of 3 because game 1 he rolled me. Game 2, I went down early, end him into bad stuff and Toad Lock, whatever. Game 3, I just went out to a roaring lead, like the kind of on my first turn, Muscle Man, DCE, Laser Bank, and Save the Sleep, and it's just like, well,
you got everything you needed. So, what was your easiest matchup of the weekend?
Oh
no, it's not good.
The player round 1 playing Night March. It was his first tournament ever. He let me go first. I had a really bad hand, but he flips over just a Joltik, and I just play Laser Bank, and he just kind of looks at me, and I'm like, sorry. I didn't know what to do.
Was he so new he didn't know what Laser Bank did, or did he know what Laser Bank did?
He knew what that did, kind of, and then, but he started to draw his card and play his turn, and I'm like, that's your only Pokemon, that's the end of the game. He's like, oh yeah. And he was really nervous. I just kind of feel bad. I remember my first tournament, and it was just like I have no clue what's going on, but at least this guy won. He won 2 games on the weekend, so it's that's more than I won in my first tournament.
It's more than I won my first tournament too. But I was playing a theme deck my first tournament, so it's a little bit different.
Same. I was playing a theme deck that my TO gave me because I came in with rotated cards at the time. No, he's like, no, you're not.
Okay, so we see that you. Okay, basically you're playing Dylan's list, like you discussed. So we haven't discussed, but that's basically what you're playing. But so you decided to switch to escape ropes or switch. How like crucial was that?
I don't think it was crucial. I think it's a lot of that is preference. I haven't ever really liked escape rope. Um, Especially like from with Lissandra, we have guaranteed gust outs.
Hmm.
I like to kind of just deal with what my opponent has active. Um, the other big thing is JW and I actually we tested with this a lot, and kind of the thought is because if you laser them first and then you wanna like you laser them and then you juniper or something, you hit the escape rope. It's like you play escape rope, they're not lasered anymore.
Yeah, true.
And so we just kind of thought we'd like to switch better. And there were a couple of times like I played against a Primal Groudon deck and they just had the Groudon on the bench, and I'm like, well, I could win right now and just knock out the Groudon, but I don't play escape rope, so there were a couple of times where I wish I'd had escape rope, but for the most part, I liked playing Switch instead.
So you said you played against Groudon. Did you? How did you beat that matchup?
So it was a Groudon Masquerain deck.
Okay.
In the first game, I got out the Quick Toad and knocked out 2 Surskits early. Knocked out Baby Landorus, and then he brought up the Groudon. Oh no, So there was that point where I was talking about the escape rope where he just had the Baby Landorus and the Groudon on the bench. Once I knocked out the Landorus, he brought up the Groudon and only had 2 energy on it.
Uh-huh.
And so I was able to swing into it with the Yveltal, and then he just didn't have enough energy to attack. And so I just knocked it out the next turn.
Oh, okay. So.
And in the second game, he just dead drew.
So I guess you didn't really play against Groudon. You just played against.
I didn't really actually play like a real match against it. But like that was kind of like part of the theme of my weekend. I was like, well, played a game, I won. Played a game, I lost. Played a game, my opponent dead drew, and I toad blocked him. So.
Yeah, I mean Toad's obviously really good. I mean that's what's winning everywhere right now currently.
It was 7 out of 8 in cut in Michigan.
Jeez.
And yeah, it was ridiculous.
Weren't they like all different Toad decks too, or like some of the same?
Yeah. There are 2 people playing 60 card mirrors or not 60 card mirrors. 2 people playing the same exact 60 card list of Toad Crobat. 2 people playing the same 60 card list of Toad Yveltal. And then Curtis and Chris Veneer, I don't know for sure that they were playing the same 60 cards of Toad Jinx, but it was 1 or 2 cards off if they weren't.
That's so ugly. What was the eighth? What was the other deck to make it in that wasn't Toad?
Kevin Baxter with Primal Kyogre.
Kyogre, yeah.
I don't know if he had Toad in that, but
he didn't have Toad in it. No,
okay, cool.
So I wanted him to do. Do you know who he lost to in top 4?
Okay, so he lost to Curtis Lyon playing Toad Jinx.
Okay.
And Kevin had just beaten that deck the previous round, and like beat it really well too. I was sitting next to him watching their game, and I was playing my top 8, and I wasn't there. I didn't see like how his games with Curtis went, but it kind of sounded like game 1 he didn't get energy or anything. Game 2 he just did his like normal Kyogre stuff and won. And then game 3, he didn't draw supporters or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
2 really bad games. I'm like, yuck.
All right, well, let's go back to your list real quick. So you put in 2 Zerostic. So how clutch were those cards?
Amazing. Just the clutchest. I don't know. I played against. Yeah, so I played against my last 4 rounds against Toad, and other than getting destroyed by Travis, I attribute all the other 3 games to Zerosic. For instance, the last round I played against Carl Shu in a Toad Yveltal mirror, and it kind of went back and forth to start, like Quake and Punch, whatever. And then, so there went his first DC once I took out his first Toad. He had a discard 1, and he brings up another Toad with a DC. I Zerosic the DC from there, so he only has 1 left.
Mm-hmm.
And he whiffs another DC to attack. Doesn't have just can't even attack. He just got the Toad active, and from there I can just VS Seeker, laser him to death, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
We figured like Toad would be really big, and like obvious. It was just the best deck, and it's not necessarily like we put in 2. Like we had 1 Zerosic and 1 Pokemon Center Lady, and we figured unless you get lasered early, obviously you're usually Quaking Punching, they can't laser you, so the Pokemon Center Lady is nice to have, but since you're only playing one, you're not going to draw into it often.
Yeah.
So we put the 206 in so we could draw into them whenever we, or at some point in this just on Quaking Punch war. But it like, it gives you like a head ringer out if you get head ringered early, or I actually used it once to take the float stone off my Garbodor, and then the next turn I could Jirachi and Stellar Guidance. So it opens up a lot of cool plays.
Yeah.
And like I thought about Flare Grunt too, just in case in case you're playing against, I don't know, some other Toad deck they put on basics or something, or I get to take off basic, but like I just like Zero Sick. Maybe I'm gonna Quaking Punch to knock something out. I can just take a DC off a bench Yveltal or something and put me up ahead too.
Yeah.
It was a great card drop. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It seems like it'd be really good, especially with Toad being everywhere. So what happened in top 8? Oh no.
So Curtis's deck was just Toad, Jinx, Keldeo, and then like all kinds of acrobike, roller skates, random receiver. Like didn't play Lysandre, didn't play N. It was really cool, like super scoop ups and everything. The first game, I mean, it's Quaking Punch back and forth a bunch of times. But so I mean, I had the Muscle Man on mine, but he just heals off 20 or 30 from the Jinx. I went to go and get a Trubbish early because I knew what he was playing, and Christopher, who's playing the same list as me, had actually played against the deck a couple times in Swiss, and we talked about it before we went into top 8, and we decided like getting Garbodor down would be the best play. So I went to get my Trubbish down early with a tool, and both my Garbodors were prized. So I was like, well, we're just gonna roll with Garbodor this game. And so yeah, so I'm doing 50 damage to him, but then he heals 20 with his Jinx every turn. And to go back and forth with the Toads, Quaking Punch a bunch of times and stuff, and then I think I get a Yveltal to take a knockout after I use Toad for my first knockout, so I'm down to 2 prizes. He like sent up a Jotter, I knocked that out too, and I've got everything just to one-shot his Toad, and he Quaking Punches me, laser heads into my turn. I flip tails, but I actually took a Zerosic off the prizes.
Okay.
Off the one prize from his Jinx, which was huge. And I Zerosic off the DC. He doesn't have another DC to win, but I flip Tails into his turn. I flip Tails coming back into my turn, and I Colress for 8, needing Switch or Computer Search all in my deck to win, and with all of them. And just kind of stare at my feet for a minute, and just that's the game. And then the next game, I actually never Quaking Punched. I never saw DC at the same time that I had a Toad in play.
So
and it's
rough.
like, I kept, like, he discarded a bunch of lasers really early. And so I had a good shot to just do a lot of damage with Yveltal until he got the trump card going. But every time he would just, like, rush and retreat to another Toad and then super scoop up later. And I could never finish off knockouts. And then especially with trump card, I think he probably used super scoop up 10 to 12 times in that one game. And I mean, in addition with the Jinx and everything, it was like I just couldn't do anything against it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Curtis's deck was really cool. I'm glad he won, and he's a great player.
Oh yeah, for sure, he's great. So how far are you off from your invite right now?
Yeah, I got it this weekend with his top 8.
Woo!
27 now.
There you go. Wait, what are you at? 327?
Yeah.
Oh no, you're beating me. Don't do that. So are you going to any more states?
Yeah, I'm going to Indiana this weekend. That's going to be my only one because I have my invite now, and so I'm just kind of like
chill,
going for stipend money or a buy. Like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, are you going to... you gonna switch decks, or you gonna like look into the Calgary stuff, or? I
am almost certainly switching decks. We kind of looked at it after. I mean, late in the day yesterday, we were kind of like, I don't think we're playing this again next week. I don't know. Like the Toad Mirror was okay.
Yeah.
And the different mirrors, like the Yveltal Mirror especially, I felt really comfortable in. But other Toads, like the Toad Crobat deck, I don't think it's an auto loss, but it's not a good matchup.
Oh yeah, for sure it's not.
And a lot of the players down in Indiana, or the players from Indiana, were playing it up here. The Toad Jinx was annoying. Like, I want to play something that's gonna have like a little bit better Toad matchup, and then I think it's just gonna be a big metagame call. Like, are people gonna start switching over from Night March and Flareon to change to the Toad decks, or are people gonna like try to play stuff like Genesect and beat the Toad decks, and like maybe because everybody's playing Toad, they won't play against the bad matchups like Flareon and Night March and Landorus Bats and stuff. So
yeah, it's always weird to see the metagame shift and see what happens week 2.
especially in like a format like this, where you can make a gutsy play and beat Toad decks and stuff, but
Yeah.
you play against 2 Flareon decks with your Genesect and it's just well.
But
That's
even
in
then,
my-
like VG is not even like a guaranteed win against Toad nowadays, which is weird to
Yeah.
say. So
Yeah, depending on what they're playing. Like, if I was playing against with Yveltal, I was like, I wouldn't be happy about playing against Genesect, but I'd be a lot happier than if I was playing like Toad Crobat.
yeah. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. What do you think week 2? You think everybody's gonna switch to VG and stuff like that? Or do you think it's gonna stick with Toad?
I think for week 2, Toad's still going to do really well. It kind of depends on like the locations of states and who you can predict to be there. Because like I'm going to in Indiana, like the Michigan players are going, and we all played Toad, and then the Indiana players all played Toad, and it's just like I feel like going into this is like, oh, Genesect could be so good, but I don't know. I don't think so.
And the weird thing is everybody gonna be like, all right, Genesect's really good, so we're gonna play Flareon because everyone's gonna play Genesect. it's like that weird like circle of life kind of thing. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, where does it end?
And then you throw those primals in the mix. I'm so surprised they did well.
Oh yeah, I mean, Kyogre seems like a really, really good deck, and people are just not looking into it.
Yeah, like Kyogre won in BC.
Vancouver, yeah, BC, yeah.
And then top 4 in Michigan. Dante with Groudon won in Missouri. Just like all kinds of stuff. I'm surprised those cards actually exist. I don't know. When they first come out, I'm just like, there's no way these are good. They take 4 energy. Like, I guess Kyogre can power up itself, but it's like, I remember when they first came out, I was like, oh, these are weak to grass. They'll never do anything good.
And Virizion slowly died off.
And I remember JW was telling me, he's like, oh, Alex, you're dumb. Like, Genesect's not going to be good anymore. I'm like, oh, no, JW, Genesect's always good. It's been good since it came out. There's no way it won't be good. And then I'm eating my words right now, so.
Exactly, yeah, we're both in the same boat. And I thought Genesect was still going to be good, and, man.
Yeah, I play a sad song for a fallen friend.
No. He might still have some trick up his sleeves. We'll see what happens. I didn't get to go to States this weekend, so you better watch out, kids.
Yeah, everything's over.
Yeah.
Everything we know will change.
Except I'll be in Arkansas and nobody will even look into it. It'll be me versus Britt, and I'll be at. Oh, what? Your face zoomed in.
You think what?
I said
Am I
your
facing?
I don't know what it did on my screen. What were you gonna say?
So you think Daffodil will make the trip down?
Who's Daffodil?
There's Iowa this weekend.
Who?
Iowa.
Oh, the cow? I always forget about that joke. Oh, I hope not. Well, do you have anything else to top? You tournament or anything?
What else interesting happened?
I don't know. You were there, not me.
Did my screen just change? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Alex Shemansky, won seniors Michigan with same list as us. So, props to him. But
You don't want to give your team a shout out? Who's all in it?
Oh, got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We rep the shirt too.
Oh,
the Stay Strong McBailey shirt.
Oh, there you go.
Polytoad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Team Polyswag. Gotta. I remember. So I was watching the stream for Texas today, and I was like, "Oh, Mad Pulls. That's a funny name." And I was like, "Wait, Everybody probably thinks Team Polyswag is like the dumbest name in the world. And it probably is, but
It's
well.
okay. Team Fish Knuckles is a very strange name too, so it's okay.
Where does that come from?
Don't worry about it. It's a I'll tell you in real life. I can't tell you over this.
Alright.
Just remind me next time we'll see each other, and I'll tell you.
Alright, I will.
Okay. Well, you all good? Anything else?
Yeah, no, I'm good, man.
All right. Hey, well, good luck to you next weekend.
Thanks, you too, man.
All right. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no problem.
Alrighty. Bye.
See ya.